Do you find yourself writing the same content in Confluence in multiple pages because you have to repeat yourself? Well, I've got a really great feature called sync blocks that I think you are going to love. Confluence recently released a new update called sync blocks that are a big improvement over a former feature we used to call excerpts. Now, both of these tools solve the problem we have of having one piece of information, some text or an image, on one page that we want to have show up on multiple different pages. This could be something like an executive summary, some troubleshooting tips, a high level guide on something. Regardless of what it is, you might find yourself adding the same exact text or information to multiple pages. And then if that ever changes, you have to go in and find everywhere it's used and go and update it. Even if you're using an excerpt, which has slowly been improved over time, this can still be challenging. They're hard to locate, and they're also restricted to Confluence. So if you want some information to appear in Jira or other apps, it just can't happen. So we have a new feature called a sync block. Currently, this is not replacing excerpts, but it is a big improvement over them. And personally, I could easily see excerpts kind of disappearing in the near future given this feature. Basically, what it does is allows you to designate one part of a page, whether it's text or images or other information, as the parent, and then you can copy that and paste it anywhere else in Confluence or any other Atlassian app like Jira, and it will automatically mirror what is on the parent. This is great, and this is similar to what an excerpt does. However, it does some more things as well. In addition to that, it also does some other great things. Now, these features are great because they expand on what we could do with an excerpt. First, this content can show up outside of Confluence. Imagine you have an important summary you want to show up on a Jira epic. You can just paste the sync block in and it will automatically sync to the parent. The next thing we can do is see where that parent is being used. I'll show you this in a moment, but you can see which other pages or work items are using that sync block. This is great because it helps you understand how it's being utilized and where else it shows up. Third, if someone doesn't have access to the source information, maybe the page is restricted, in the sync block, they'll be able to request access. You don't have to approve it, but it makes it easier to go find out where that information lives. With an excerpt, you would just see nothing or an error. And fourth, you have the ability to break the link to the sync block. If you break the link from the parent to the children, all the children are blanked out. But if you break the link from the child to the child will retain the information when it was broken so you can further edit it. So now that we understand a bit about these sync blocks, we're going to jump into Confluence and play around with them to see what we can do. So here we are in Confluence, and I have added a sync block to this page. Now, just like the excerpt macro or other things, it's hard to tell where the sync block is. So I just called this one, this is a sync block. You'll notice as I put my cursor over it, it says synced block. And if I click on this, I'll have some options. I can delete it, copy the synced block, and I would do this to put it on another page. I'll show you this in just a minute. I can unsync. And again, this will break anything that's been synced to it and make it blank. The parent will keep the information, but the children will not. And I can also see the synced locations. Where is this being used? I have the source and all the children. So right now it's in two locations, this page and one other. I can click on these links to go to that page. So again, this is fairly powerful because it makes it easier for me to see where this information is being used. I can add new sync blocks by selecting a block using these three dots, and then just clicking this icon here, sync block. I can also add a new sync block by doing a / and typing in sync and add it in here. And this will just give me a blank one. There are some other ways to do this though. I can select multiple blocks, maybe this performance snapshot and this table, and include those in a single sync block. So if I have multiple blocks, multiple pieces of content on the page, I can include them all in the synced block. Now, unlike a macro, I don't have to give this a name. So now that I have this synced block, to put this somewhere else is easy as copying it and then going to another page and pasting it in. So I'm going to pick on my 10-year anniversary perk, and I'm going to go to edit this, and I'm just going to insert this synced block in some spot. I'll just paste it in, and you'll notice it's telling me the synced content will display when the page is published. So I'll update this page. And here I have an error. This is telling me that the source hasn't been updated. This is very common. I typically forget to update or publish things, so I'll quickly go back to the source. I'll go back and edit, and then I'll publish the update. Now I have this sync block. You'll notice looking at the page, you don't know it's a synced block. All you see is the information. But now if I go back to this 10-year anniversary perk, I'll see this sync block. If I don't have access to the source, I can't see this monthly work summary page, I'll just see an error here with the option to request access, and the space admin or owner can go in and help grant that. And if I go and edit this page, I'll see the sync block. It'll tell me where it's syncing from, but I won't be able to edit the content in here. All this is doing is pulling in the sync block from another page. I can click on the bottom to see where it's being used, and it's going to tell me the source. So it's very easy for me to go figure out where is the source. This is different than an excerpt, which could have been a lot harder to figure out where is the actual source. And you'll notice it even scrolled down the page exactly to that synced block. So this is how we can add synced blocks into Confluence. We just use /sync, or we select blocks on the page and click on sync block. And again, we can easily go and see where it's being used, including what the source is. Now I can unsync this block. If I unsync this block from the source, this will break all of the downstream sync blocks. So if I were to hit unsync, this would blank out the sync block on the other page. This will help ensure your data is a little bit more secure, but it does break it for all of the children. The other way I can do this is go to where it's being pulled in. I can go edit this page, and if I unsync it from here, it's going to keep this information on the page, but it is no longer synced. In this case, I might need a slightly different performance snapshot here, or want to update it just for this particular page. So again, I can unsync the child, that keeps the content, but breaks the sync. But if I unsync the source, it blanks out all of the children. In addition to using these in Confluence though, I can also use them across Atlassian apps. And this to me is one of the better use cases. I'm going to copy this synced block again, and I'm going to pop into Jira and put this onto a work item. I'll just open up my Jira instance. I'll find some work item, and I can add this into any of the text fields. In this case, I'll put it in the summary, and I'll just paste it in. And you'll notice that same synced block appears just like it did in a page. It tells me where it's synced from and when it was last edited. And then if I were to save this, this will just appear as information on the ticket. So again, this for me is one of the better use cases. I can pull information to other systems that the end user just sees as being information, and I can see where else it has been synced. I can find the source and go view that. So this is the synced block. Again, it allows me to take information from one spot, one page in Confluence, make a synced block of multiple blocks on the page or even a brand new one, and then sync it into multiple places. I can always edit the source. This will update all the children wherever they are, and I can even pull it into other Atlassian apps, not just Confluence. So that is the synced block. Check out the description for a link to the official documentation. I am very excited about this feature. I did hear about it back at Team in early May. I saw an early demo, and I'm really glad it came out. It is an enhancement over our excerpt, and it's also a massive upgrade because it works outside of Confluence, and we can easily see where the source page is. So it's definitely something worth checking out to see how it can help improve your pages. Again, anywhere you find yourself pasting in the same information or even typing in something very similar, consider using a synced block. It's a bit easier to access and manage and gets us away from having to remember excerpt names and all that kind of thing. I'm curious what you think though. How do you use excerpts, or how might you use synced blocks? I've got a Discord and a WhatsApp community where you can get more help and support, and also of course find me anywhere else you see me online. I also want to give a special shout out to all of my channel members. These folks help support the channel directly. The best way you can help support me though is just give a like or a thumbs up, or check out the description for more information on membership. Thank you so much for learning about synced blocks with me. Again, I'm excited about this, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one of these again soon.